This year it was wheat and...
Rehan Khan is no stranger to the farm life. For 2 decades, he farmed and worked in agricultural science in Pakistan. He left it all behind in 2018 to bring his kids to Canada, hoping to start a farm. He owns these 160 acres now, but it wasn't easy.
The startup cost is high, over here. And like for the small farmers, they cannot buy the heavy equipment which are so expensive, you cannot afford them. You have to get some rental.
Canada-wide, the cost of farmland went up more than 20% in 5 years. In many areas, $1 million budget won't buy even a small farm, so some newcomers are frozen out from the get-go.
We get lots of calls of people who are eager to start, but there's that gap there between what they can afford and what they're actually going for.
A recent report shows 40% of Canadian farmers will retire within 10 years. There's also an expected shortage of 24,000 farm, nursery, and greenhouse workers. To fill the gap, researchers say Canada needs 30,000 immigrants who can either start up their own operations or take over existing ones. One solution? Make it easier for experienced temporary foreign workers to become permanent residents.
We're also talking about radically new forms of agriculture, like the explosion of the greenhouse industry over the last, say, 20 years. These are year-round operations. They need a workforce year-round. So the very notion of a temporary migrant worker that comes in simply for the growing season doesn't really even make sense.
There are provinces like Saskatchewan that have programs specifically to attract ag-focused immigrants to the sector. There is also a federal pilot project which speeds up the permanent resident process for farm-focused newcomers, but that ends in May. Stephen Donald is hiring a temporary foreign worker this summer. For the first time in his family farm's history, he can't find local, consistent help.
When the crunch comes on and we have to put in so many acres in a short time, that's when we need the extra help. And that's what makes it difficult.
The report suggests automating machinery so it takes fewer people to get the work done. Donald is already doing that. He's trading this grain cleaner in for one that can run 24/7 without supervision. He's also updated his harvesting tools.
I guess with technology, we've been able to cover more acres with less machinery. But at the same time, to manage an operation properly and doing all your weed scouting and plant timing and seed timing, it still boils down to so many acres per person to manage that.
The report also urges Canadians to create succession plans, since most don't have one. Khan was lucky enough to rent equipment from neighbors down the road. That was just one piece of the puzzle.
Unfortunately, in the very beginning, couldn't find so much information for this thing. But later, now I know everything. Now I know, how to buy something, from where to buy, where would be get the less price.
Khan hopes it's easier for future newcomers, especially since he and others are a key part of Canada's farming future. Sam Sampson, CBC News, near Yorkton.